Is there a new Battlegrounds sandbagging meta with a surprising 1-star champ? Kabam tackle the member withdrawn BG Alliance point situation? With tier 6 class catalysts in game, when will Kabam introduce selling tier 4 class catalysts? Well, we're going to have a look into that one. And when will we see the Rockets buff info? Also, much more, like arena predictions. Good day everybody, hope you're doing well and welcome back to the channel. We got a lovely MCN for ya. Now do the like button, subscribe with post notifications on, all that would be absolutely brilliant, thanks. And I'm definitely not going to be saying the word diabolical or calling you a C word, because that would be very inappropriate. References to the boys. But let's talk about what's happening. New update next week. As a lot of you know, yesterday we posted on the channel a little video that covered a Screen Rant exclusive. The Screen Rant exclusive couldn't even get Kabam's name right and referred to them as Kablam. Yes, Kablam. You know, Kablamo, the game made by the developers called Kabam. This particular exclusive, which you can go and check out in the link in the description, had many things, but it did have some really kind of cool information as to like, well, what's the new quest, not the side quest, just some general stuff. The two new champions, which are confirmed to be Shuri and Atuma. And something very surprising, which said at the bottom, Black Panther has received a visual makeover. So that's something that we'll find out, like, what extent of a visual makeover. Is this going to be a new skin? And by the way, I'd love the idea of being able to switch skins in Marvel Contest of Champions, but that's something that I just don't think Kabam are kind of like in the market to do. But I just thought it's really cool to get like different outfits. Imagine changing different Wolverine outfits. Imagine changing different types of, Black Panther outfits, from one that's like very early age to kind of like more of a kind of golden age, modern age type comic book kind of visualization. There was also a video for both champions. First of all, Atuma and then Shuri. Shuri being a tech and Atuma being a skill-based champion. Both look really cool. Lots of kind of like long special attacks, which could be good for duration things for battleground interaction. Some kind of charge up thing with Shuri. Lots of stuff. Go and check out the link in the description to check out this particular this little trailer that Kabam put together. Yes, indeed, lots of fun stuff. But we're going to go into our next thing to cover today, and that is changes to Battlegrounds Alliance events. Now, first of all, when I read this a couple days ago, I didn't really think much of it. And it says that starting with this season, we'll be making the following changes to the Battlegrounds Alliance event. To qualify for rank and milestone rewards, a summoner must have been in Alliance for 7 days or more days and contribute at least 1 point. To qualify for rank rewards, an alliance must complete at least 1 milestone, 300,000 points. This change will affect the current season, Season 2. Why is this so important, or what has kind of crept up? Well, funnily enough, this goes back to a time where, if anyone remembers the gifting event, or the old gifting events, when you allowed alliance mates in, or new alliance mates into the alliance, pump and dump, where they kind of like go in and like dump a load of points. So they literally like pump up the points, dump them, and then it basically go. And a lot of times you were getting like bot accounts that people were creating, kind of unscrupulous accounts, fraudulent accounts that were kind of going in. Not saying this is exactly the same, but it's giving you an example. An example is on screen right now. See the member withdrawn? So it's right there, member withdrawn. And because it's got that, it means that somebody came into the alliance, maybe it didn't work out, and then they went. And in that time, they did a bit of Battlegrounds grinding. The difference is with this particular situation is potentially players are using this as a scheme in order to get players in, or alt accounts in for a limited amount of time, go and pump a load of points in, do a load of Battlegrounds grinding, and then go. The same way that this could actually be employed by an exploit if modders and hackers join alliances, are able to blast for a load of points, and then the alliance gets unscrupulous gains. Now, I'm not saying that Kabam are going to just stand idly by and allow that to happen, because this is why they've got to address this stuff. But it's definitely a concern and something to look at. And the reason that I don't know if this won't 100% sort that problem out. But it's something to be wary of, especially if you're looking for people to people joining alliances to pump up points, then to just leave. So that's something to kind of watch out for, and why Kabam are starting, inroads of this. And also the new person that's been hired at Kabam in order to deal with security. And sticking with the subject of Battlegrounds, we've got a part 2 coverage here. This one is all about a new sandbagging meta. Let's face it, people sandbag. That's the strategy at the moment. It's a thing. And you can either have people doing it in a, I don't know, larger scale, smaller scale, a scale. I mean, here's a good example right here of like a situation someone's sandbagging, but it is Lil Steve, the summoned symbiote, that is causing a hoopla-de-da because basically it registers as a 1-star. But does it also kind of work with the champion rating? That's something we don't really know at this stage. But in any case, its usage in Battlegrounds, especially in a sandbagging situation, can mean that it will have somewhat of a operating at a 6-star kind of level. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I've used it in the past where we've used it in this month's actually side quest. And it did function well enough as a comparable, effective 6-star-ish. Kind of like a 6-star rank 1 maybe, a 565 maybe, a rank 2 6-star again maybe. It's an iffy one to kind of like say. If you mastery build a champion effectively enough, it can function as a higher functioning champion. That's the point I'm coming to. But yeah, it was kind of weird to see it like being put in. But look, as I said, like it's a sandbagging option. It's a meta. But Kabam are already kind of like on the case with it, saying thanks for bringing this to our attention. Definitely a weird bug. There was something the team is looking into. It seems that they already have an idea of what happened, so off to a good start. But I think there was something more to this though. How when I ban a symbiote he isn't banned? That's the other thing as well. So we kind of like, that's the second part to this particular one. I'm like, okay, well that's a meta to use it, but at the same time, he doesn't get banned. That's weird, isn't it? How when I ban a symbiote he isn't banned? Why even make him available to PG just to exploit as a 1-star? Because yeah, he's a 1-star that can well, exploit, it seems. Exploit, exploit, exploit. That's what we're going with MCOC today's narrative of it. So yeah. Weird one, isn't it? And now we move on to selling of your tier 4 class catalyst. Let's face it, in game you may have a load of tier 4 class catalysts. You may have no kind of like need to sell your tier 4 class catalyst. For me, it's a case like I either got loads of it or I got none of it. It goes between too many. It's not a case I have like a constant stream of it. It's like, yeah, I've got loads, I don't have loads. And that's how it is with that. Whether or not you use side quests in order to get more tier 4 CC, or whether or not it's a case that you're kind of like popping open alliance crystals. I'm actually thinking about it. I do have about 400 AQ crystals, AQ map crystals I have not opened. So that's probably the reason why it's kind of like a weird fluctuation. But the question does get posed at the moment that, look, we got tier 6 class catalyst in game. Surprising, isn't it? As I said in the video, no, is it a video yesterday? Yeah, video yesterday. We have at least 6, I think it's 5 or 6 chase rewards being released between the month of September and May next year. And those chase items are going to be things like alloys, embers, like tier 6 class catalysts, 7-star shards, and also there's something else which I've completely kind of like off my mind. Relics, that's it. So all those 5 chase rewards are literally going to have you just like going nuts to try and get them. So we need to look at situations of selling some of the lower stuff, and Kabam have not answered that, but they've given us information on that. So when asked a question about selling tier 4 CC, Kabam Mike says this has been a topic of conversation for a few times recently and for a while, and it's something we've raised with the game team recently. No details or decisions, but we've put it on the radar. I'm not saying like it's a quintessential thing that needs to be done. It's just something that I think would interest players as to thinking, right, well, what do I do with this if I've got a load of them, and kind of like, could it be more advantageous for stuff? I don't know if it's something that they'll progression gate, because let's face it, if you're a Cavalier player and you're looking to, you know, sell your kind of tier 4 CC, it could be advantageous for them. But at the same time, this is something that needs to progress the game. We need to bring players up quicker. You need more players being able to get to the higher levels of the game, so Kabam can make content around that. Because at the end of the day, Kabam only seem to make content for Paragon and Thronebreaker out of push. They don't seem to be making anything for lesser players. So it's just a case of going, just do progression. That's kind of like Kabam. Oh, you Cavalier? Oh, just go. You're gonna have to go be Thronebreaker. You're uncollected. You got to be Thronebreaker. Push through Cavalier. So that seems to be the thing. So I wonder whether Kabam will gatekeep this from progression. We'll have to see. But interesting nonetheless that it's been discussed. And now we move on to rocket buff information. Let's face it, it's been a longer time stretched out for the releases of last update, or this update they're in at the moment, and the new update. One of the big reasons for that is that normally games developers will take some time off over the Christmas holiday, so it will be a case that Kabam are now trying to extend the runtime, because we had a 35-day, I think it was. This is a 35-day update we're kind of rolling with, and a similar situation of how we start off in kind of a latter point of November, which I think the news update stuff comes, well, new updates in on the 7th of November. So then it's going to be a case that we get the new update on the 9th of November, and then it will run for, you know, like a month and a bit before we see the December update. And then it's case it's January, and it allows time for, you know, the development process, and then developers can get back to work in kind of not a latter point of January, but I think what Kabam will do is they'll work a lot on that particular content. In any case, to the point, Richard. And that is all about the rocket buff. Looks like information is not out yet, and it will be at the latter point of this week. To give you a date, it's going to be Friday, 10 AM PST. So even though Kabam says, hey there, just to confirm, it's still scheduled to come out in the next update, and we have more information to share with everyone soon. That soon is being on Friday, 10 AM PST. So there's going to be information. I want to say it's going to go spotlight on the forum, and then video deep dives onto that particular stuff, which I'll be doing on the channel, so look out for that. But yeah, it's always the Friday before the new update comes in, so good luck. I really am hoping it's a good buff, and especially because the champion's going into the 6-star featured, which you can see right there. The 6-star featured, actually, that leak that we kind of like talked about last week ended up to be true. Not the first one, that was a fan-made one, but this one is very much the kind of what we expected it to be. No Drax, by the way, no Drax, yay! But I also, like, don't buy any of these yet. Wait until next week, because you won't get any 7-star shards. A lot of people I know are really keen and want to get it, and that's fine. You do you at the end of the day. I mean, for me personally, I'm probably going to stop at saving up for 20. I'm going to do 20 6-star features at least and see what I get. But just before we end, we've got to do arena predictions for Rintrah and for Gwenpool. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in the Rintrah arena. I know they said Rintrah arena. I know. What's wrong with me? I need a coffee. Now, just before you think I'm going to lose, I've lost my mind with doing these arena predictions and predicting what I'm predicting, right? I just want to let you know, recently we had a Scorpion arena in the basic arena that went 101 mil. I just want to point that out now, just before people go, oh, that's ridiculous, you're predicting that much. Yeah, that's why I've done 110 mil prediction for Rintrah as a 6-star. And again, just to point out, that Scorpion arena, 101 mil, position 93. That, again, just that's the thing that annoys me, that I'm having to do this prediction. It pains me as much as it pains you to hear that particular prediction there. But let's face it, it may even go higher than that in the basic arena. In any case, I'm sure that you'll be able to get some relatively alright grind with Gwenpool. Gwenpool is a 6-star, go with 120 mil, but that could be downgraded to at least like 80 something mil. Again, depends on like extent of grind, because people went quite high for Nick Fury and a few other champions that pushed that over 100 mil mark. And also with the 5-star version, 38 mil for Gwenpool. Again, seems fair. If you want to get yourself a sneaky Rintrah 5-star, maybe 24 mil. But I don't know, because like Rintrah is a very popular champion. He does a lot of damage. He wasn't nerfed in the rebalance and recently, and as well, I'm sure there's going to be an interest for him. But we'll see. I love to be proven wrong when it comes to arena predictions and results, but we'll find out what the lay of the land is on Sunday and in the MCN on Monday when I do the results and predictions. And just before we finish, I want to give a massive thank you to those that support channel, you know, on YouTube and Patreon. Thanks very much to YouTube members and patrons. You can do that by clicking the buttons in the description down below, and also twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. If you've got Amazon Prime, give me an Amazon Prime, that'd be very kind of you, and I'll see it stream later on. We'll do a little bit of I don't know, a little bit of Battlegrounds, maybe I'll do Act 8.1.6, I don't know, and then we'll do a little bit of Fall Guys. Why not? I don't know where my accent's going, bloody hell. And check out some other content on screen right now with your faces and clicking the buttons. Yes, bye.